Guys, big update. I finally replaced the Gfci with a USB one, and now it doesn't make that awful ticking sound. Look at that. 7 seconds. Brand new Gfci. And this is the old one. And I kind of figured out why this one was having the issue. When the carpenters came in and installed these, they used the backstab method. This one uses pigtail, so it was kind of hard to put it back in. So I was worried I would see a spark, but nope, I don't. So if we go ahead and do test, actually reset, because it shows self-test LED. Test it. And these USB outlets, it's upside down. 5 volts, 4 amps. So the reason it's ground up is because I couldn't actually turn it for the ground down. So this just makes it easier for my mom, so she doesn't have to use the adapter, which it can't even fit because of the on the top one because of the cable. But so it has Type C and USB-A. So I got this from Home Depot. It was really expensive. It was like $60 for this. But I did also notice on the packaging, that's this one here, that it had one of these shutters here, if you look carefully, right there. And if it prevents a foreign object, I'm not gonna do it. It's gonna prevent a foreign object from going in. So I can't even go in. The only way it goes in is if 2 pins go in. It's tight, so it's brand new. So for this one, I'm never gonna put this back in service. This one had issues where when you test the outlet with the plug tester, it makes a loud sound when popping out, probably because they use backstab wire. But doing it directly on the outlet works fine. But after I replaced it, it all is all working. And I think this is my first ever outlet replacement. Yes, when I replaced it, the first one I cut was the line terminals. So and the ground, and I wired those up. Then I chopped the low terminals, and then that's how I wired it in. It uses pigtail wires, so it did come with these wire nuts, but I went with this, the Wago 11 nut system. So I did run out of the inline one for 2 of them, so I had to improvise. And yes, there was an extra ground wire, so I just removed that to make it fit. So now this Gfci is a lot better, and it also goes to this rod as well. For some reason, it didn't come with a sticker. I don't know why, but if I plug this in here, it trips the one over here. So let's put this one back in. So how does this one work is it takes the hot to the ground with a resistor. So if you try it on a regular outlet, it's not going to trip. And then, so it does the hot to neutral, hot to the ground with a resistor. So it doesn't trip the breaker. And then for the test buttons here, it does hot to neutral with a resistor as well. That's how these work. Now this one does stick out a lot more, but I'm fine with it. And yes, the plate is kind of bulging out. That's because of how the outlet went in. But this outlet does work. And one thing is, even if I did get the line and lower terminals backwards, this will not be able to reset. It's a failsafe. But of course, when you get it, it starts tripped like this, and you can't reset it. But once I click reset, it allowed me to reset. So if I try to reset here, you don't hear a click because it needs power to reset. But when it loses power, it stays active, and then you just click the test button to trip it. Simply. But I just don't like how they used backstab wires. I really hated how they did that. They used backstab wires on the outlet. Not a good connection. Backstab wires are not really a good connection. So of course I used my plug tester to make sure there was no power when I turned off that breaker, and then I also used this non-contact voltage tester to make sure there's no voltage on the terminals, and then I rewired it. And at least this one here has covers on it, because this one here, which it isn't plugged in, so I can insert the thing, you won't worry about it. So if you try to insert this into a regular one, it does go in. So that's a safety risk. But on this one, it is shielded. So I'm from that issue. But if you look, compare it to this one. So this one is more white. This one's like kind of dirty, discolored from the light. This one does have the self-test early like this one, but it's actually on the bottom outlet, not on the top, because I put it like this, you see? So I'm not going to be using this again because something's wrong with this outlet. Something's wrong with it, so I'm not going to be using this. However, I do have this one installed, so it would be much safer. It's just unfortunate I have to do the ground up mode, which normally I see this on switched outlets, but oh well. It's not really going to make a difference, because if I take this one, which is a grounded one, all I have to do is that. Same with this one. So I have replaced the Gfci. I have replaced this Gfci with the one with the USB, and now it's better. And it won't have that weird trip issue with the plug. Okay, it's good.